afternoon, good evening, those of you on YouTube and those of you that are on the TikTok platforms. We thank the most holy, high, and mighty I am that I am, according to Genesis 1 and 1. And we thank the Most High for you, and you. Even Sanini Nine Nini, the Heya, and our Creator. Now, let us pray. Oh, great Sanini Nine Nini, even the Spirit that moves upon the water, we thank you. Even the Tata and Zombie, we thank you for everything. Even the God, we thank you for everything that you've done. We thank you for your mercy. We thank you for your favor. We thank you that even that image that Daniel saw, even at the feet, where they were one image, they were one kingdom, there was one that ruled all the earth. Now there are many, and they're grown. They're split in two, and they're just separate from each other, but yet they're together. Oh, if we understand these things. But yet you have caused us to be victorious, because one day that feet of that image that Daniel saw in Daniel chapter 7 is going to be defeated. It's going to be by that little stone that's sitting in the mountain. It's going to be crushed. It's going to be a sand, and we shall be victorious. We're going to be saved even from our enemies and the sin that caused our enemies to reign over us. And we thank you for all things. Yes, even the part where you're going to cause us to even come to you, that our heart's going to be turned back to you, that it's going to cause us even praise, even perpetual praise towards you, because you have freed us and delivered us. Yes, we thank the Most High for you, and you. And we're coming from Genesis chapter 32. Yes, chapter 32. And it reads, "And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him. And when Jacob saw, he said, this is God's host. He called the name of that place Mahanaim." Now that sounds a little gibberish there, Mahanaim. "And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau, his brother, unto the land of Seir, in the country of Edom." Now we have to realize, you go back a little bit further, you're going to find out what Edom means. "And he commanded them, saying, Thus shall ye speak unto my lord Esau, the servant Jacob. Thy servant Jacob says thus, I have sojourned with Laban." That was a very wicked person, if we read in the last chapter. "And stayed there until now. And I have oxen, asses, and flocks, and men servants, women servants. And I have sent all to tell my lord, that I might find grace in thy sight." In other words, Acob/Jacob was rich. I mean, you say servants. I don't understand that. These people were employed. They received the wages, and because in this day there was no way you could just work in this, like the major cities and all that. But they were employed, and they followed their employer. Okay? "And thou might find favor in thy sight." And the messengers returned to Acob, saying, "We came to thy brother Esau, and he cometh to meet thee, and 400 men with him." Now he had 400 men. Now Acob had a lot of workers. He had those who were getting paid. They were actually getting paid. Now, paid in what? No, they wasn't getting paid in what we would consider today. See, we have to be careful of this English language. We have to be careful how we perceive the things that are said in this book. It was a whole different payment system, employment system, and all. And some would even call them servants and slaves. But no, they were not. They were free. They could leave if they wanted to. "And Acob, greatly afraid, distressed, he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks and herds and the camels, into 2 bands, and said, If Esau come to one company and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape." And he's being smart, okay? Even the Most High giving him this wisdom. "And Acob said, O God, O Sanini Nini, the great I am of my father Abraham, the God of my father Isaac, even Isaac, and Sanini Nini, which says unto me, Return unto thy country and to thy kindred, I will deal well with thee. And I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies and all of the truth which thou hast showed unto thy servant. For with my staff have I passed over Jordan, and now I am become 2 bands." Now he's praying, deliver me. See, that's what we should pray. When we have our enemies, we're left on one hand and on the other. We say, God, deliver me. I've done these things. I've done what you said. Deliver me. He said, deliver me, I pray. I ask you. I'm talking to you. From the hand of my brother. his own brother. We're somewhat brothers in this land, and some of our brothers have become our enemies. And from the hand of Esau, for I fear him lest he come and smite me and the mother with the children. In other words, Esau hates me, Most High. Esau hates me, O the God. Esau hated him. And he said, and thou saidest, I will surely do thee good, and make thy seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for the multitude. Again, I say, that little tiny place that they made up that's called Israel, how can that even contain the people of the Most High, the Bantu of the Most High? That's what Bantu means. How can it? It cannot contain it. No. And 14, 200 she-goats and 20 goats and 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 milk camels and their coats, 40 kine and 10 bulls, 20 she-asses and 10 foals. And he delivered them into the hand of his servants, every drove by themselves. And he said unto his servants, pass over before me, and put a space between drove and drove. In other words, he was saying, now Esau take this, okay, that's good, he can have it. Esau take that, good, he can have it. At least we have a way to escape, you know. Now in verse 17, and he commanded the furthermost, saying, when Esau my brother meeteth thee and asketh thee, saying, who art thou, and whither thou goest thou, whose are these before thee? You know, who's these? What you doing? What you doing with all these sheep and all this cattle? And verse 18, and thou shalt say, they be thy servants Jacob's. In other words, he was humbling himself. He said, thy servant. You know, it is a present unto my lord Esau. In other words, he's saying, ho, you can take this if you want to. It's a present unto you if you want it. And behold, he is behind us. And so commanded he the second and the third and all that followed the droves, saying, on this manner shall ye speak unto Esau when ye find him, and shall ye moreover, behold, thy servant Esau is behind us, for he said, I will appease him with the present that goeth before me, and afterward I will see his face, peradventure he will accept of me. So went the present over before him, and himself lodged at night in the company. In other words, he had another people he was lodging with, yet he sent people, his employees, before him, so that if Esau saw them, he would ask, and maybe Esau might take of the presents that he presents to him from his servants. And so, because if you're employed, you're a servant. See, this is a word play. You have to watch out for this English word play. It's an English word play in the Bible, even the Bible. You have to be careful, and you have to know what they're doing and how to see that this is what they're doing. Okay, I see what they're doing. Okay. Now, he took them and sent them over the brook, and sent them over that he had. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the break of day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. So he was wrestling with the man, the messenger of the Most High. He was wrestling with him. And so he said, okay, now you're going to wrestle with me. I'm going to touch the hollow of your thigh. In other words, he put it out of joint. Okay, and Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. Now, see, this was a play here. See, Jacob, Acob, the angel could have left any kind of way. He could have left like he wanted to leave. But the fact is, Acob was being tested. And he said, I'm not going to let you go, except you bless me. And he said unto him, what is your name? What is thy name? And he said, Jacob, firstborn. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. But that don't seem right, because it can be an acronym for the gods of Egypt. Now, for as a prince thou hast power with God and with men as prevailed. And Acob asked him, now his name's still Jogi. Now, why did he say Acob, and then why he said Israel? And then he comes back and says, a prince thy house with power of God and men and hath prevailed. And Acob asked and said, now why didn't he just come back and say Israel has asked him and said? No, his name is still Acob. Tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it thou asked after my name? And he blessed him there. And Acob, even Jacob, called the name of that place Peniel, which I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. Now, you have to realize, when somebody say they've seen God throughout these books, that means they've seen an angel. See, just as Jesus said, haven't I been so long with you, Peter, you have not known me, when he said, show us the Father? Because what? Jesus was a spirit before, or the Jesus that you understand, was a spirit before, even in the book of Daniel. The same description of that Jesus in the book of Revelation is the same description of that Jesus, that spirit, in the book of Daniel. See, else they stole it from the book of Daniel and they put it in the book of Revelation just to tell you, hey, this. Now you have to watch the wordplay. Watch the wordplay. You have to really read carefully, because these people have an agenda in which they do play these words. And as he passed over Penuel, let's see, how's that? They changed the I into a U. Peniel. And as he passed over Penuel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. Therefore the children of Israel eat not the sinew which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh in the sinew that shrank. Now, we have to realize that these things are so. Whenever you read in the Bible, whenever you listen to look at what's happening, look at the actions that are being taken. Do they match the words? Do the words match the words? Just like Peniel, and then you got Penuel. How can he came to a place named Peniel, and then in verse 31 he passed over Penuel, and the sun, the I changed to the U. Be careful. That's all I got to say. Now, you might have some translation that corrects that, but we know that the Bible a lot of times has been written by heathen. It has been translated by heathen. And these heathen have an agenda which are not in accordance with the Bible, in order to prove themselves as greater or as God, or to look like God. So we have to be careful, very careful. Now, with that, I'm going to say peace unto you, and may you all grow in knowledge of the Most High, and saying that he says that this is the greatest thing you could ever do, is understand and know me. Peace.